Hi. Today we're going to read another book about Humpty Dumpty. This book is on Epic, so I can read along and then I'm going to post more videos. So here we go. What really happened to Humpty? From the files of a hard-boiled detective. So this story is a detective story coming from a nursery rhyme. So it says Mother Goose Land. There's a map in this. It says Jack and Jill Daycare Center, Three Pigs House, Old Women Who Lived in the Shoe, Downtown Gooseland, Three Bears House, all of that. So when we flip to the next page, it gets started. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty was pushed. At least I think so. Who am I? I'm Joe Dumpty, Humpty's younger brother. You probably haven't heard of me. I never was Mother's favorite. Mother Goose, that is. Ever since she became Police Chief Goose, she thinks I'm stirring up trouble with my detective business. Yes, Mother Goose always liked Humpty best. He's such a good egg. That's why I think it's a crime that he fell off the wall. After all, he'd been sitting up there for as long as I can remember with no problems whatsoever, until that awful scrambled up day. It was a picture book perfect morning. The old woman who lives in the shoe had just dropped off her kids at the Jack and Jill Daycare Center. The three little pigs were putting the finishing touches on their latest house, and across the field, Humpty was sitting on the wall. I wish I'd stopped to crack a few jokes with my brother. Oopsies. It was Humpty's first week as captain of our new neighborhood watch program, and I didn't want to distract him. Besides, it was almost 9 and I had to get to work. I made a quick stop and ran into Little Red Riding Hood. The muffin man scrambling to fill a big order, Red said. I can't even buy one lousy muffin for my grandmother. She sniffed loudly and stomped off in a huff. With my espresso in hand, I headed to the office. As I opened my office door, the phone rang. It was little Miss Muffet. Joe, something's happened to Humpty. I raced to the wall. Miss Muffet was there, cell phone in hand. I called 911, she sobbed. I looked at my brother. He wasn't making a sound. Whoever did this was gonna fry. And up here, little Blue Peep says, or little Miss Muffet says, at least he handed sunny side up. I walked back around the wall, and that's when I saw it. Something shiny was tucked under Miss Muffet's tuffet. She was on the phone, so I didn't bother asking if I could look under her tuffet. I just did. Sometimes detectives act first and ask questions later. It was a pair of binoculars. Not just any binoculars. These puppies were the official binoculars of the neighborhood watch program. Humpty had been showing them off ever since he'd become captain. What are you doing with those? Muffy asked, grabbing the binoculars. I was just about to ask her the same thing when all the king's horses and all the king's men arrived. They couldn't put Humpty together again, so they scooped him up and rushed him to the hospital. What's the story? I asked Muffy. I wanted some answers. Muffy sighed. I was just shooting the breeze with Humpty, waiting for Spider. Humpty was letting me try his binoculars when suddenly this huffy puffy wind blew him right off the wall. Police Chief Goose pulled up in her big honking cruiser. I was at the Three Pigs, she apologized. The wind we had this morning blew down their new house. I just told Joe that the wind made Humpty fall, Muffy said. I made Humpty fall, said a small voice out of nowhere.